Hey everybody, Mr. Gray here. Hope you are all doing well. Today we're going to talk about a topic that a lot of you may have heard of, but maybe didn't know how to use them or what they were for. Today we're talking about scales. More specifically, minor scales. First off, let's talk about what scales are and what they're for. According to the Naxos Dictionary of Music, a scale is a sequence of notes placed in ascending or descending order by step. We use scales as part of a warm-up in band or in our practice routine at home to familiarize ourselves with what key we're supposed to be playing in and to know what notes to play. Composers would write music based on a given scale. Everything about the scale was used in the composition. The notes of the scale gave the piece of music its key signature, so the composer knew which notes to use and when to use accidentals. And the scale also gives the piece of music its melody. That's really all a melody is, a scale in part or in whole. The next time you're listening to your favorite song or piece, listen to the melody and see if you can hear how the scale is being used. So I'm sure you've all heard of the age-old question, which came first, the chicken or the egg? Well, we find this question in music too. Which came first, the scale or the key signature? The scale tells the key signature which notes are sharp or flat, but the key signature tells the scale which notes to play. But let's talk about key signatures for a minute. We know that we see key signatures at the beginning of a piece of music, and that gives us our accidentals. Always look at this when you are given a piece of music so you don't make the mistake of playing an F natural where it's supposed to be F sharp. You know who you are. I'll give you some quick ways to identify the key. So when your director talks to you and asks you about what the key is, you'll be able to answer quickly. If you have flats in the keys, your next to last flat is the key you're in. For example, if you have three flats, B flat, E flat, and A flat, the next to last flat is E flat. Therefore, your key is E flat. Now don't forget, if you're a transposing instrument, clarinet, saxophone, trumpet, horn, that is the key you are playing in, but the band is in the appropriate concert key. Now let's look at sharps. If you have three sharps, F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp, go to your last sharp and go up 1/2 step from that note, and that is the key you're in. So in our example of three sharps, F sharp, C sharp, G sharp is the last sharp. Go up 1/2 step from G sharp and you get A. You are playing in the key of A major. Again, clarinets, saxes, trumpets, and horns, this is your key, not the concert key. If you are a flute, an oboe, a trombone, a baritone, a tuba, or any of the mallet percussion instruments, then that is your key. So in the example of three sharps, you would be in the key of A major, concert A. Now back to today's main topic, scales. Major scales. We all know them. We all love them. It's what we play every day in band as part of the warm-up and before reading a piece of music that's in a new key. Major scales sound happy, and we like the way they sound. We know the formula for a major scale. Whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half, if you're looking at intervals. And the solfege, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Or if you think in numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can alter the notes by raising or lowering them. That is sharpening or flattening them. Flattening, flattening, flattening. By altering certain notes in the scales, we get minor scales. Here's an example of a major scale. When we alter the third, sixth, and seventh note of the scale by lowering or flattening them, we get a minor scale. So the formula looks something like this: 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6, flat 7, 8. Listen again to the major scale. Now listen to the third, sixth, and seventh notes of the minor scale and how they sound different. Could you hear a difference? Think about how the minor scale sounds. If we describe the major scale as sounding happy, how would you describe the minor scale? It has kind of a sad or even eerie sound to it, right? So why use minor? Composers use scales and keys when writing to often evoke a certain mood or feeling. They create an atmosphere of mystery or of sadness by using minor scales and keys. Watch your favorite movie and listen to the music in it. Anytime the plot seems to get uncertain or the mood changes, what does the music do? You'll usually find that the music matches what you see by using the minor mode. And band creates stories with the music you're playing. Listen to it. Does it sound happy or sad? Create a scene to go along with what you're playing. Doing this helps you get into the music better. It helps you like the music more, and it even helps you play better. A lot of music even comes with program notes. Your director might even read those out to you as you begin to play a piece or beginning to prepare for a concert. Now that you know what the minor scale is and why it is sometimes used, let's talk about the three different types of minor scales for a moment. I'll play an example of each scale after discussing each one. You saw the formula for creating a minor scale just a little while ago. 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6, flat 7, 8. Or if you think of solfege, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, te, do. Or if you think in intervals, whole, half, whole, whole, half, whole, whole. This is just one type of minor scale. This creates the natural minor scale. There are also two other types of minor scales that we'll go over briefly. You have the harmonic minor scale and the melodic minor scale. The harmonic minor scale is just like the natural minor scale, except you raise or sharp the seventh scale degree. Think back to the natural minor scale. You can think of the scale degrees 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6, flat 7, and then 8. If you have a harmonic minor, you raise that seventh scale degree. So now you have 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6, 7, 8. Notice the seventh is not flat. It's not lowered. If you think in the solfege, you change the te to ti. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. So let's revisit our old friend, the C natural minor scale. The notes are C, D, E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat, C. If you raise the seventh note of the scale, the B flat, what does it change to? The B flat changes to B natural. This gives the scale a sense of direction or finality. Your ear knows when the scale ends. This is a trick that composers use to let us know when music is supposed to end or when you're reaching the end of a section. Here's an example of a harmonic minor scale. The other minor scale we'll briefly mention is the melodic minor scale. It gets its name because the scale itself creates a melody that is easily transferable to compositions. It's kind of a combination of the harmonic minor and natural minor scales. I'll give you the scale degrees for this example. 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, flat 7, flat 6, 5, 4, flat 3, 2, 1. If you notice, I gave you the numbers for the scale both ascending and descending. That's because it's different on the way down. This scale gives the composer more tools when composing and can open up melodies to some beautiful and creative sounds. I'll give you the scale degrees again, and I want you to notice the difference on the way up from the way down. Again, the melodic minor scale is 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, 6, not changed, 7, not changed, 8. Coming down, flat 7, flat 6, 5, 4, flat 3, 2, and 1. And here's an example of a melodic minor scale. Aside from major and minor scales, and of course the chromatic scale, musicians use other types of scales. We're not going to get into much detail with them today, but just know that they're out there. If you ever hear a piece of music or hear music from another culture that just doesn't sound right to you, chances are it's in another mode or it's in another scale. A mode is where you take a scale and start on a different note but keep the same key signature. Take your C major scale, for example. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. This is the first mode, also known as Ionian. We also call it, more commonly, the C major scale. If we start on the second note of the scale, D, and continue up to the next D, you get the notes D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, which gives us the second mode, or Dorian. You can continue using this pattern for any scale starting on any note or any scale degree in the scale. The modes that this will create are Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, and Locrian, my personal favorite. Here's an example of each mode using the C major scale as my starting point. There are lots of other scales too. Whole tone scale, octatonic scale, blues scale, pentatonic scale, scales from other cultures that include notes we can't even play in band. So when you're asked to memorize scales and work them up for auditions and it feels overwhelming to just work up 12 major scales and chromatic, just remember it could be worse. You could have to learn over 150 scales. We are only scratching the surface in band. So in conclusion, minor scales are created by altering certain pitches in the major scale. We've mentioned those pitches a lot by using numbers or solfege. Can you remember which ones are most commonly altered to create a minor scale? 3, 6, and 7. Using minor scales opens up the creative options of composers and allows them to tell different stories or to change moods or feelings within a piece of music easily. Now let's see if you can remember some of what we've talked about in this video. How many different types of minor scales are there, and what are they? There are 3 types of minor scales. We have natural minor, harmonic minor, and melodic minor. Which minor scale changes on the way down? The melodic minor scale. And last but not least, can you remember the formula for creating each minor scale? For creating the natural minor scale, what does it look like using numbers? 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6, flat 7, 8. What about the harmonic minor scale? Remember, you change one note from the natural minor scale. 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6, 7, 8. Remember, you raise the 7th in the harmonic minor scale. And what about the melodic minor scale? Remember, this one's different on the way down. 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, flat 7, flat 6, 5, 4, flat 3, 2, and 1. Before we go, how about a joke? What key do cows sing in? Beef flat. Hope you guys are doing well. Can't wait to see you guys soon.